Talon, and look, the drafts are already looking very spicy. Dewish team, they are the clear underdogs, at least for us. But we'll have to see if they can pull out something with these wacky and wild picks. Let's get right into the Rift.
Okay. I think if you're DWT...
Whoa.
Oh, okay, so we got some level 1. I like a split map. I think DWT, they can't really contest at level 1. And I think that, yeah, you're kind of just like hoping to hit level 6 without falling too far behind. Also, I think it's kind of wild that Diana went for Airy, because I think that Airy Diana with Scorch can work if you're versus a champion that doesn't really have any sustain. But Ryze, he's going to be getting the Catalyst very early in the game. So I feel like it's not really going to achieve a whole lot, but maybe it's just necessary in order to get you through that early game.
Yeah, it is an odd one. It's very rare that you see a Diana, first of all, like Diana mid, and then second off with the area, it feels like it would even be hard to proc to begin with.
Oh,
Like,
is this a lane swap?
oh, it is.
Yeah, okay.
In-how. I think RG might actually be onto
Oh,
it.
no. I don't think he dies, but he loses a
Oh.
lot of health here, which definitely feels
Yeah.
bad when you're playing weak side.
Starts to hop and does manage to get over that wall pretty quickly, but loses a fair chunk of his HP. Actually not too bad, like I feel like it's still recoverable, but not having that Q to be able to farm from long range is going to be rough. We'll see how PSG Talon respond in this early game. Looks like Woody's going to be basing ASAP and heading to the top lane. Make sure he's supported. Wow, Dewish team doing some crazy stuff. They're sitting 4 topside very quickly, sitting no one bot lane.
Yeah, Lacuna is very committed to this, but he can always TP bot to pick up this big wave. And this isn't the first time we've seen this in the PCS, the lane swap in order to dodge a difficult matchup. So I actually like it, because if you don't fall behind to this Caitlyn, like, you're in a very good spot.
Dewish team looking to see what they can get, setting up Pepper on in-house, trying to dodge as much of that rough early few levels as they can. I'm sure they'll end up basing and going back bot lane at some point in the next few minutes, but this is good to sort of tide them over for the meantime. Although there is a clear trade-off, right? Waco, he does get some solo XP from now, gets a lot of, I guess, uncontested minions, and Larknife actually TPing back bot. That's a bit interesting.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to. There's just too many waves crashing for you not to commit the TP. And I think, especially with Ornn, like, being able to build items, it's not the end of the world if you don't have TP up. Like, you can still sustain in lane for a pretty long time. I think also not giving Caitlyn any tempo to swap back up here and, send Nara back bot is pretty important. Like, you want to keep your Nyla away from Caitlyn as much as possible. Like, if Ashe ends up going up there, it's not the end of the world. But if Caitlyn and Ashe get together, it's definitely a rough lane to play against.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I really do like this from Dewish team. It feels like, when you pick a team come like this, you kind of got to play a bit unorthodox, right? And a lot of teams aren't willing to do that, but DWT, they're taking that jump. They're doing it in style. WSL is back up top again. We'll see if they try to go for a dive here. RG is pretty close to the Mega Gnar. Does have level 3 as well. WSL, oh no, WSL flashes, but RG just, blinks and walks away. Nothing expended from his side at all. Misses a few minions, but that's about it. Definitely not worth it for the flash on the side of WSL.
Yeah, at the same time, it did assert quite a lot of dominance. So
Is that it?
yeah,
Chad move?
you're definitely going to have to respect him from then on. He's willing to... he means business when he comes up to top lane.
Oh, Larkin actually manages to squeeze himself between the cupcake trap and the tower. Avoiding a lot of damage there. Husha looking on mid lane. Xiaotu, it's not the first time he's been caught out like this. Uber, he jumps in as well. Yubao. Oh boy, WCL's here as well. Xiaotu forced to burn the flash. Yubao does take a lot of damage from that trade, but once again, another flash burned. And that's a lot of early game options drying up for Dewish team. I feel like that Maokai W is just so valuable for setting up those ganks, combined with the flash. And when you don't have that, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to help out these laners. But they're actually still riding out this lane swap. I wonder when they're gonna swap back. Are they gonna potentially stay all the way till level 6?
Yeah, I think you still get plates bot. So, like, at the end of the day, you're still accelerating your Caitlyn. It's just you're not really putting the enemy bot lane behind. It's not often you see a Nara lower level than a Yumi. That's what happens
That
here.
is a little weird. But Husha is here to spot Agi. Wow, WCL's actually going for it. This is really, really dicey for them. Agi burns the flash. WCL, he's got the zoomies, and actually manages to walk out of that relatively healthy. That seemed really risky for them.
I'm very surprised he committed to that with Husha so close by. Yubao's very tanky already. Look at these items coming through. He is going to be unkillable, and that is the risk you run of playing double AP mid jungle. Now Zhao2 is actually up here first.
Dewish team, they're committing so much to the top side.
Ooh, can they cancel it?
If he gets it off. Or Sapling.
Oh, nice.
Or actually cancel it himself, but he has got the Mega Nut now. It actually pops. I feel like he wanted to pop as they're diving you, so a bit early for them. And he is very low. I think he's actually just going to die here. Husha's sort of left him for dead. First blood, like, oh, he's actually coming back. Does get picked up. First blood by the Yuumi, actually, but Xiao2 might actually die to the tower here. It does fall down, and that is going to be actually an execute. But PSG, they're picking up WSL as well, so Husha trades that one.
Yeah, I feel like that wasn't very good for DWT. Even though Diana got executed, Zhao2 lost so much mid. There were so many creeps, just lost for free. And actually, Yubao's up here. Oh
my goodness, Yubao's here as well. He's here to clean up. Pepero burns the flash, but he's not going to make it out of there alive. Now it's just a kitty cat with no owner is going to skulk away this time. But... oh my god, look, you have to mention this. PSG Talon, they're taking the bot lane tower down to 1 plate. And it's only 6 minutes into the game. We talked about the PSG bot lane, they have to get ahead. And while they haven't really managed to set back the Nyla Yuumi by themselves, the rest of the team have kind of managed to do that for them. And they're just sort of securing their own early lead. Waco now level 6. Let's take a look back at that replay.
Yeah, so in the meantime, during this, the mid wave is going to be lost and plate's given over as well. So they kind of feel like they have to make this fast. And then I feel like it was also kind of mis-executed. Like, I think Maokai should start this and then reset the aggro instead of just tanking it to begin with. I think, yeah, you can play that a lot cleaner. And also the kill goes over to Yuumi, which honestly isn't too bad. Like, she still uses gold well. But yeah, Zhao2 on the Diana gave up so much mid for that roam. And being put behind when you're playing, again, double AP mid-jungle means the magic resist comes in so early, and you never reach that point of being able to kill them. So I really like PSG's position right now. Even though you've fallen behind in top lane, the people you want to be ahead, they're ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Pepero trying to do what he can to sort of get back into the game. It's not like he's too far behind by any means at all, but when your team is behind... that sets you behind by proxy as well, and he's going to find it a little bit more difficult to play than those later mid-game team fights. Waco continuing to chip away at this bottom tower.
Look, Kunai does have Spellbook, so could potentially swap to Ignite.
He has to walk around and tank all these autos. Waco setting so much dominance in this, pretty much like a 1v1, as Woody's, he's off doing his own thing, trying to support RG where he can. Dewish team looking for the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, the Rift Herald is nice. They should be able to get it without Wako here, but so much gold is going on to Wako's Galen right now. Yeah, he is really, really fed.
Yeah, I feel like if you're PSG, like, obviously getting the Rift Herald is good, but as long as you can sort of stall Dewish team as much as possible, make them waste time, even that's, not that bad, because Waco is just continuing to push these waves in and deny even more CS for the side of Dewish team.
Yeah, he's getting so much, and I feel like... yeah, the gold lead, while it's not super big, it's like exactly where you want it to be, right? And I also think it's a little bit misleading because, a small gold lead, even at this stage of the game, means a lot, right? It means that Wako's already completed his Gale Force compared to Nyla's kind of, Warhammer and some other stuff. Now, this tower will go down, but it's going to be spread among... well, maybe not going down. Okay. Yeah, the gold is spread among 3, though, so it's not quite as good.
Yeah, you definitely do have to point out that PSG Talon, they have a small gold lead, and most of it, I have to assume, is on Waco. He got a lot of solo tower plays, a lot of solo XP, a lot of solo minions, solo everything, really. I mean, Kalen is meant to be a bit of a lane bully. Ooh.
We got maybe a little cheese coming out here. Waco walks up to that tower. Is it going to be in trouble?
Oh.
Does have the sums, but I think he might just get killed here.
Yeah, WSL has the flash available for the root. We'll see if they try and go for it here. Woody is here to support as well. Might actually be a little bit scary.
They're missing on the bush.
Oh. Final chapter doesn't find anyone. Neither do the grasping roots.
Yeah, so
they're just going to walk that one off.
PSG realized that there were missing pings on the bush, so whether or not they knew they were actually in there, they definitely suspected something was up, given that no one was really showing on the map. And avoiding that window, I think, is really crucial, because a lot of cooldowns used on the side of Dewish team, and now PSG... they can go back to just taking more plates. They've taken, 5 bots so far. They haven't taken any mid, they haven't taken any top. But it's not long until they go down.
Definitely PSG taking all their boxes in terms of, their win conditions for this game. They got the Kaylin Ash ahead. they're managing to play disciplined and avoid any sort of, I guess, cheese plays from Dewish team, because it feels like, you know, it's only 10 minutes into this game, but it feels like that's all they really have in their pocket until they reach, you know, like the 5v5 stage.
Yeah, and Kalen rapidly approaching 7 plates here, so definitely, you know, getting a lot of use out of this pick. I also feel like I don't know, coming back to that top roam, that was really, really bad for Zhao2 on the Diana. Just look at the mid lane items right now. There is no chance that Diana deals any damage to Ryze this game.
Yeah.
And Ryze is, you know, Yuba on the Ryze, he's very good at farming.
Husha looking for WSL. It's dropped very low, drops the season assist as well, and is going to pick that one up pretty damn easily. Might be looking for Pepero and Inhao as well, but channels the Vault Breaker, doesn't choose to go through with it. Instead, opting to, you know, give Waco that space to keep chipping away these plates. He has a bit of gold as well.
Oh, actually ults to stop the recall. Ooh, I do like that.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, but very difficult for WSL here. I mean, you're playing with no mid prior, no top lane prior at the moment either. It's just very, very difficult. And actually no bot lane prior either. So it's tough, right? You've got 3 pushing lanes, and especially the fact that they're not just pushing, they're like constantly under your tower. You know, Ryze pushes instantly, you can see right here. But Caitlyn is permanently hitting the top towers, so really just not a lot of options for WSL. And this will actually be 10 plates going over to PSG now. Will they be able to get any more mid?
Denying the minions as well. Really good decision making here from Waco. I would like to see him leave it a little bit more, but I mean that's pretty good. It's pretty clean.
Yeah, I think get him to mid lane as soon as possible. I'd really like to see the ADC gold difference right now because it's going to be pretty crazy, I would imagine.
This must be so weird for Waco. You know, you you show up for this this professional game and you spend 90% of your game not even laning against anyone really.
Yeah, it must feel pretty good.
Oh, he's got the Berserker Greaves, the Gale Force, and the Zeal as well. He's already very strong in his own right. Second Dragon coming up very soon. Now, like PSG, they're honestly pretty happy to give this one away if they really need to, if they're able to secure even more of a gold lead for themselves. DWT, they really, like, even though they're behind, they really want a 5v5 at this point.
Yeah, they do have an insane 5v5 composition. I think PSG, you honestly just get prio in all your lanes and then come back to this.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you can get so much across the map if you just keep pushing like you already were. Because DWT, ultimately, they need to commit 5 people if they really want to secure this dragon. And of course, that means there's a lot of space on the rest of the map for other people to wreak havoc. Husha taking 2 saplings, but not going to do really any damage at all. Must be magic resist runes on top of that. But Dewish team, they're really waiting for PC to misstep. WSL flashes forward, drops the grasping roots. Yuba locked down, dropped very low. Nyla gets a lot of kills as well, does a lot of damage. Double kill for her. Archie gets the Mega Gnar, but has to disengage. And that, you know, really good trigger pulling there from WSL. We'll see if PSG, they try to slow chase here. Waco, of course, is already very strong. And Nyla ult is down along with pretty much every other ult for Dewish team as well, actually.
Yeah, so pretty good engage from DWT. We kind of said before that this is what they want. They want that really strong 5v5. I think PSG might have misplayed this a little. I feel like the Gnar maybe could have killed someone off the back end, but honestly, it's not too bad for PSG. You do give over some kills, but importantly, the dragon didn't go down, and DWT have invested all their cooldowns. So if PSG just go back, start up this dragon, there should be no way to contest this without, you know, they're literally missing all 5 of their team fight ultimates.
And they're very ult dependent, so there's really no recourse for them. PSG picking up the second dragon. We'll see what the solo is this game. It's going to be drum roll. I didn't see it. Oh, it's a Hextech Drake. Okay, that's pretty good for PSG, I feel like. Hextech Soul will help them create more space and kite out Dewish team with very short-range team themselves.
Yeah, at the same time, though, giving those Hextech gates to find those flanks for champs like Diana is really important.
That's a good point. Yeah, it does give them a bit more options, and it feels like options are definitely in short supply for the side of Dewish team.
The ADC CS gap is pretty big, but Neela managing to pick up 2 kills in that fight I think is pretty critical. I'm not sure if there was a shutdown on the Ryze with how much he'd farmed.
Yeah.
I feel like there might have been a small one, you know, like a 150 gold shutdown. But DWT, they're starting this. I think PSG, again, you try and avoid this fight. You don't want to take 5v5s unless, you know, you're getting a lot for it, like giving... Oh, this is actually level...
Actually, it's level 9 against level 11 Zhao2. Gonna hop, skip, and a jump that one away. But Rift Herald does get secured on the side of your team. They're looking on Woody here, potentially. The Ornhorn does hit, but not much follow-up available. Stun hits on the return side for Pepero. TP comes out from Zaltu. Now that's pretty bad for Dewish team.
Yeah, I think the TP being committed way too early there, and that definitely does matter a bit because you really want this Diana to be able to get into team fights, and I think now it's very easy to get locked in the side lane up against Yubao's Rise. You can just keep pushing in. But there's really no chance for Zaltu to actually pick up a kill on Rise. You know, maybe you can poke him a little, but he has so much sustain.
Yeah.
I think also it was just kind of an ambitious engage on mid anyway, right? Like, I think everyone still has sums like that you gotta heal, which is better than nothing, but you know, the top lane advantage is actually starting to build up for Nar. Nar's actually kind of regained a lot of his CS, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like he had like 30 at 10 or something, but is actually, you know, slowly crawling back into it. And Orn, on the other hand, Lakunai, yeah, kind of struggling to actually pick up CS needed.
Yeah, and it definitely hurts a lot more for the Orn as well, you know, not just because of the gold, but also because of the XP. He really wants to be able to hit those ornaments as early as possible, and he's only level 10 right now. So it's just going to be that little bit longer before they can hit those you know, those big stat spikes that they're really hoping to get.
Yeah, now the gold lead for PSG has kind of stabilized here. They haven't really been able to accelerate it anymore, and honestly, it is kind of difficult because a lot of time, you know, when you get ahead, you do just force fights and everything, right? It's pretty easy. You just group up, find an objective, and Bob's your dad's brother, like that. But the thing is that DWT, their team fight is so strong that even if they're at a gold deficit, they can still win fights. So the way you have to play this out as PSG, you really have to use the fact that you win those 1v1s, you win those 2v2s, you know, get the mid prior, get the side lane prior, and use that to create an advantage for yourselves, like either in positioning or just in CS. I feel like if you just walk at them, you just have a 5v5 without thinking, it should go the way of DWT.
Yeah. For sure, and that's what DWT counting on. They're looking at Woody yet again. Does get CC'd down, chained up, and taken out. Waco dropped very low as well. Forcible and burn both summoners. Fisher looking on the return side here, hits the Vault Breaker onto Pepero, dropped very low. TP coming in from RG. Doesn't quite have any Mega Bar really, so but they are going to slow chase here. Yubao as well, full HP, looking to see what he can do. Realm Warp already burned, but RG, he's super quick. He's looking to slow down WSL, keep chasing here. Pepero, I wonder if he'll look to turn here. No, WSL does get taken out by Yubao, and Pepero is just going to be on the run.
Has Flash.
Looking for a new home for him and his kitten.
Okay, so PSG managed to pick up quite a lot.
Oh, they're still going. Pepero gets stunned up, locked down, and taken out by Husha and Enhao. You know, he's got no owner now. He's that was really interesting. It feels like Pepero just felt safe, but PSG just walk at them and
I don't know.
Against the wall.
That was really aggressive, like really greedy positioning from Pepero because Nar didn't even have to invest the flash.
He just walked up.
Yeah, he just walked up menacingly and took him out. So I'm not too sure how that happened.
Oh man, that would have been, you know, the one light in the darkness for them. At least they would have had a couple of surviving members, but take a look back at how this all started.
Yeah, so the initial engage is good, but you have to remember that DWT are very ult reliant, and a lot of the ults are used onto a support here, right? And there just isn't a lot left. And then kind of like the TPs can come in, you can just slow chase down. I think PSG had a Rise ult kind of going to outer space here. I'm not too sure how that happened. But maybe could have got a bit more.
Yeah, that actually would have been a huge one if you'd, you know, casted it in the right direction, but it does happen. Probably just like camera woes or whatever. But PSG now firmly 5k ahead, if my math is correct.
Close
Almost
enough.
6k. You know, close enough. Whatever, we take those. But Dewish team jumping to the Rift Herald are going to pick up this mid outer turret and a little bit of an objective bounty as well. That never hurts.
Okay, opening up the mid tower I think is good. It gives you lots more options to engage on mid. And I like this from DWT. They have the control, they have the ults. Even though they're down a significant amount of gold, they still have a chance here, but I think it's rapidly kind of getting away from them. If they don't make stuff happen soon, they are just going to fall too far behind to actually win fights.
Yeah, definitely is that scary point where Dewish team, if they, you know, fall too far behind in gold, it's going to be hard to find those 5v5 fights regardless. But Ornhorn does hit Waco in the very back, but no one is near enough to follow up. Husha looking back on Pepro, he does get rooted and hit airborne and gets shut down by Xiaotu. Let's see what happens next. PSG on the chase. DWT dropped very low. RG is hopping over the wall, looking to see what he can do. Very, very close to Mega, but Ace in the hole does pick off Larkinite trying to run off on the side. That's what you get for abandoning your teammates. And it is going to be likely the Hectic Drake's third dragon picked up for PSG Talon.
Well, will they come back to it? Pepper has ult still, but there's no other ults up.
Or TP coming in as well. Does get rooted up and dropped very low. Xiaotu, oh
no.
My god, he's got to go back to the base again. He's 1 HP. PSG looking to potentially slow chase here again, but they don't have much left. Realm Up does come out. Xiaotu, he's going to figure out where to go. 4 members of PSG suddenly appear. WSL gets a big Bramble Smash on the 4, but there's no one there. Pepro, interesting flash, but...
Just gets kited out everywhere, and I think PSG, they're going to be able to pick up both the Baron and the Dragon here, and you have to feel like that's DWT's window gone. They maybe could have won that fight if they'd executed a little better, but it was going to be difficult, and I think, you know, one problem of playing such a one-dimensional comp is that you don't have a lot of tools, and the tools you do have, they're very obvious, right? Yeah. PSG, they were respecting. Like, when Waco got Ornn ulted there, he was, like, the other side of the screen.
3 screens away.
Yeah, exactly. There was really no follow-up. And stuff like the Diana ult being used onto Husha's Vi, who'd already popped the cooldowns. I mean, we'll probably... Oh, different fight. So it was a nice trap.
Yeah, oh my... Like, he doesn't even get to do anything. He pops his Protovel, but chunk down so low.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even have ult. I think he probably should have just TP'd top and tried to pressure top tower, but yeah, ultimately they try and go for the fight, and they really just don't have the cooldowns to back it up. And I see what Pepro was going for here, but really well played from PSG. They like spread out in every area, and he just can't quite find the ult.
Yeah, PSG, they didn't even have vision of that bush, but you know, the Spidey sense, and from multiple members as well, you know, even if... Like, if only one member from PSG realizes that and turns away, it still can potentially turn out well for Pepro, but luckily for PSG, they are all on the same page. And actually, like, they split up, like, in 4 different directions, so making it really difficult for Pepro to find any sort of ult angle at all.
PSG didn't manage to get the dragon, but you have to feel like it doesn't really matter, and instead they're just looking to push the waves. I think it's really difficult for DWT now because both Waco and... Oh my god, they actually stole it.
He wants everything. Drops the season assist as well onto Xiaotu. He's pretty much 1v2ing. Yubel is here to support as well, and they are probably just going to clean up Xiaotu and WSL in the Dragon Pit. Not dropped very low at all. Xiaotu drops the ultimate, but not gonna matter at all. PSG Talon, and now Pepro is on the run as well. Waco and Woody cutting him out. Enhard pops up for the shield, but Husha Volt breaks him to the next galaxy, and RG as well picks up a kill as well. Quadra kill for Yubel actually in that turn of events, and that's an ace for PSG Talon.
Yeah, I think that was always going to be really hard for DWT. They were so far behind. Both the carries had stopwatches and actually still have stopwatches. They didn't even get burned. So if you're that far behind that you can't even force, you know, one of those out, I mean, it's pretty rough. And I think this is, yeah, it's pretty over. There's not too much else. Maybe they can look to defend for a little while, but the writing is definitely on the wall. And I think the only option you have is maybe to go on the flashless rise or something.
Oh, Waco actually going to get caught ahead. Tries to go for Hexgate. Gets interrupted, but Pepro, he's on the chase here. Manages to sidestep the ult from Woody, the Ash ult stun. Husha does have the cease and assist available. WCell going to get taken out, and Archie's here with the Mega Gnar, roaring to a start, and Pepro dies before he can even get his ult off. Waco stopwatch does come in handy this time as Xiaotu gets dropped down as well. Waco going to be on the chase here for Larkinite, and of course his little kitty cat as well, and that's going to be another ace in the matter of minutes for PSG Talon, and most likely going to be the Nexus as well.
And a 15k gold lead in 24 minutes. I mean, a very dominating game. No dragons given over, and only 5 kills and 1 tower. Yeah. So PSG, they really come out. They put their foot down. You know, no nonsense this game.
No nonsense at all. Taking out their 3rd win for the split, and of course it is going to propel them into the higher ranks going into week 2. Not a bad way to start your week.
Yeah, and I think, man, like, I was excited for the Diana. At the same time, I realized that double AP mid jungle is such a bad idea these days. I just think the MR items are way too strong. And especially when you're running that much AP. Like, it wasn't just the Diana and the Maokai, it was also, you have an Ornn who just like isn't really bringing much damage at all. You've got that Yuumi as well. So your only real AD threat is a Nyla, but she is just, she's in a rough matchup, right?
Yeah.
She's never really going to get to be a threat. And I think, yeah, just a bit too much one-dimensionality. I don't know if that's a word, but it felt like it was just very obvious what that comp wanted to do, which is sometimes good, right? You've got an easy to execute comp, but I think they just really